Brutally honest. Ain't nothing but being brutally honest. Coming at you with another video. And gentlemen, please welcome Concord University DB Mike Sawyer Jr. How's it going, bro?
It's going all good, man. How you doing?
Doing great, man. I see that you got your Ravens in the bag. Hey, that's all good, bro. We go back in the flashback, but hey, it's either there or there, bro. How's it feel to just what got you into playing football, man?
All right, so I mean, pretty much, what got me into football, I would probably say, honestly, my cousins and honestly my family, my foundation. Pretty much started as just a kid that was just playing on the block with my cousins, just riffing and raffing at grandma's house, and then my cousin was like, "Man, you got a hell of an arm," you know. So then after that, started playing quarterback, and then that was all she wrote after that, Just pretty much fell in love with the sport from there.
Well, that's interesting. So was there any other offers besides Concord University?
I mean, as far as Concord, there was Shepherd University as well. But I started at West Virginia Wesleyan College at first. Did my undergrad and pretty much did about all the way up to my senior year, and then pretty much transferred over to Concord University after that.
Oh, so you went to another college that was West Virginia Wesleyan. Interesting.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So looking at your film, you're a 6'1", 190 type of DB. So you got the length. So you just have that. How do you describe your style of play?
I would pretty much describe my style of play as a physical corner that come down and hit anybody in that way. Pretty much I like bump and run. I really like cover two. Definitely would fit very well in a cover two type scheme as well. But I would say definitely a bump and run type corner, and then a real aggressive, good with his eyes and ready to play ball.
So what was your beginning when you first played at Virginia Wesleyan University?
West Virginia Wesleyan? Yes, sir. But at West Virginia Wesleyan, pretty much I started there from my freshman year all the way up to my senior year. Started there, did my undergrad, and had a bachelor's in science, exercise science, and then went from there.
Yep. So what made you transfer to Concord University?
Pretty much, I would say just the program wasn't really, because I would say from my freshman year to my sophomore year, the program was like we were rolling. Everything was rolling. Then after my sophomore year, we had a bunch of coaching changes, head coaching changes, defensive coordinator changes, positional coaching changes as well. And then after that, kind of the record, kind of went downhill. We kept going 0-10, 0-10. And then I was like, with a guy like myself, I love to win, and I like to have also guys around me that want to win as well, And I think just being at West Virginia Wesleyan, it was just, being around those type guys, I was like, it just, it kind of just drove me crazy being around that type of environment of guys. So I was like, let's go try some different competition and see if I can find some guys that's just as competitive as I am.
So what was the difference of going to Concord University?
I would say just having guys around me with older guys for one, because I think when I came in there, we had a bunch of different grad transfers as well. So it was definitely a lot of experience and veteran experience over there. And then myself coming in, being a 6-year senior as well, had a bunch of different guys that are willing to step up and play those roles, and everybody pretty much played their role. And I really liked the environment.
Okay, so you had some experience there with a lot of these veterans there. What really got the advantage for you guys to stay another year was because of the COVID year. So what was it like to deal with COVID?
Uh, I mean, with COVID, it was interesting because actually the COVID year I was at West Virginia Wesleyan still, so I'd had to spend that spring season there in 2020. So I mean, it was interesting. We played 2 games total that season, but it was because a couple guys on the team had caught COVID, and then from there the coach had to kind of forfeit the rest of the season from there. But I mean, it was interesting. It was all right. That's all I can really say. It
It
was
was
definitely.
it had to be a difficult challenge because you had to stay away within those people, and then to go to the gym, you had to go separately without
Yeah, and
that.
that as well. Wearing masks and stuff was definitely a little interesting. I think having to stay away from and then being in practice was a little different. I had to spread out all over the place, and then you kind of with your positional coach for the most of practice, and then when you kind of doing a couple team periods, but not a bunch of team periods, so it was a little difficult as far as building chemistry with your teammates and different things like that. So,
Oh,
but we kept rolling and just got it going.
absolutely, man. I mean, it was a difficult challenge for a lot of athletes, so it wasn't like like a lot of it was just like a lot of people catching on, and then you just didn't want to get it, so it was just like playing the protocol, just stay away from somebody, put the mask on. It just was the difficult challenge, man. But especially in public, they wanted you to put a mask, and now it's kind of spreading away a little bit. So, but looking back at your playing days, man. So, like, who was one of those football players that you wanted to model your game after?
I would say Deion Sanders, Darrell Revis, and Jalen Ramsey probably my top 3 favorite corners. And I think definitely I would say I would take away Deion Sanders, his speed, and then Darrell Revis as far as his cover skills, and then Jalen Ramsey's pretty much his aggressiveness and physicalness. So I could probably take different pieces of those guys and then put them as one, and then I would pretty much make myself. So.
Oh, okay, that's a good mix of all those players you model your game after. What's your nickname in football?
Football nickname. Never. Honestly, I never really had a football nickname. But if I were to give myself a nickname, I would say Juice.
Juice. Okay, so you're the juice on the field, man. So you got the length and you got the juice to back it up, like they say.
Yes, sir.
So just from the looks of it, man, like, so growing up in Baltimore, so you had to be a Baltimore Ravens fan. Was there like any other influence watching the Ravens that got you into football?
Um. I wouldn't really say any true influence from them because honestly, because basketball was my first sport at first, so I kind of was like just a basketball athlete. So I never really truly watched football. I kind of just got into football with my cousins and everything. So I never really watched the NFL like that until honestly like high school, around like mid high school. So, but I would say if I were to watch some football back then, definitely the Ravens would have had a bunch of influence because you had guys like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and I was just like, those are definitely some guys, and motivational guys, and definitely some leadership type guys as well. I would definitely, have some influence on myself.
So basketball was like your first sport you played at and got into, huh?
Yeah. So yeah, I played basketball pretty much all my life up until my senior year of high school. Then I kind of had to make that decision of pretty much between football, basketball, or track. But basketball is what my first love was. So, but I kind of gave that up. Was like, man, let's put on these cleats and let's get it right.
What really makes it a simple transition from basketball to play DB is the rebound skills. If you can
Yeah.
just get the ball. So doesn't that kind of relate to the football field?
Absolutely. I think, especially at the cornerback position, that's kind of what a lot of things I know different scouts look for is as far as DBs, guys that can jump, and play that deep ball. Because the game is changing these days, getting faster, and a lot of guys are getting a lot more athletic as well. So it definitely is looking for a corner or a safety, that can really jump and play those high balls as well.
Oh, absolutely, man. So what kind of style of play that you do at cornerback that stands out? Like,
I would say the style of play, like I would go back to again just being an aggressive corner, bump and run. I can play a lot of cover one and man, so definitely can either play off or press coverage as well. Um, but it'd definitely be something as
okay,
well.
so what was one of your best games overall and why?
I would probably say my best game. will probably be against West Liberty. It's a team in the Mountain East Conference down in West Virginia. Just because I had 10 tackles that game on top of having 5 PBUs that game as well. So it definitely was. I was playing to run a lot, coming downhill, and also it kept trying to try me on some X screens, the X jailbreak screens. So I definitely had to break a couple of those up, and also just coming down playing to run, and then every time they test me in the air, it was definitely a pass breakup.
So one of those games had to do with 10 tackles against that competition. So it was West Liberty.
Oh yeah, West Liberty University, yes sir.
Yep, that answers your question, Grandizer. It's West Liberty University that he played against. 10 tackles at one of his best overall games. When you look at it, man, so outside of football, what does Mike Sawyer Jr. do, like outside of football, that keeps, focus on others?
I am a member of a Mega Psi Phi fraternity incorporated, one of the best fraternities in the planet. But I definitely do a lot of community service events and get involved in the community. I always want to uplift people around, especially being from Baltimore. We definitely we got a lot of struggling going on down here in Baltimore. So having guys like myself, that's willing to give back to the community and just uplift and continue just to build brick by brick. Because at the end of the day, Baltimore, it made me. It's where I'm from. But at the end of the day, we definitely need some work. So I'm definitely one of those guys that want to get back to the city.
Yeah, one of the toughest neighborhoods in the state of Maryland, yet without a doubt. Like, what should we know about Mike Sawyer as a person?
Mike Sawyer, you could definitely see him as a leader, a great communicator, and as well as definitely a role model as well. So there's definitely 3 things I would say that will make me a great person.
So why should any other NFL team draft you, and why?
I would say all teams out there, as far as all avenues of football, man, you guys should pick me up, because if you get a guy like myself, you'll get a guy that's not going on, not only make his opportunity permanent, because I'm not one of those guys that just take his opportunities for granted, So if you give me this opportunity, you're gonna get one of the best and hardest working guys on this planet. I can tell you that right now.
I like that answer, man. So when you look at it this way, man, how do you prepare for games? It's like any other athlete that goes into the field, pre-games and all that stuff. There's got to be a preparation for you to get ready for the game.
Oh yeah. So usually, I would say starting that Sunday, usually that Sunday night, start of the week. I usually would probably start watching film on the team. Usually just get a little introduction, see what I'm working against, and then Monday it's back to work. So that's when I start really diving deep into the film. A lot of things I did. I like to write down a lot of notes. So I always would potentially write down the teams, all their plays they run, sit there and study it day by day. And then also on the field, try to apply things I've seen on film onto my practice, and then just basically related to the game.
That's good. Oh, here's a good question right here. What's your pre-game song to pump you up?
Let me see. It's going down. I would say a song probably be Drake. Lord Knows. It's probably one of my favorite songs by Drake. That song gets me in that mode every single time, and I'm just ready to honestly tear somebody's head off every time.
Okay, that's a good choice right there, Drake. You can't go wrong with him. Man, there's just a lot of good songs by Drake. I don't see why certain people would not like his song. He's got good music. So
I mean, honestly, bro, he's one of the best artists out here. That's one thing I can say, man. I mean, because honestly, with Drake, he relates to everybody, and then he also taps into different styles of music as well. So that's, man, he just honestly attracted to him. So
yeah, for sure. Which NFL teams have reached out to you leading up to the draft?
Honestly, about 12 NFL teams have. You want me to go down the list specifically?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I can actually pull up the list. My bad. Give me a quick second here.
Hey, at least you're getting interest, so it's like,
yeah, absolutely. So yeah, a couple of the teams that have reached out to me before the draft will probably be the Indianapolis Colts, the Las Vegas Raiders, the Atlanta Falcons, the Giants, Detroit Lions, the Browns, the Eagles, the Vikings, the New Orleans Saints, and also the Baltimore Ravens as well.
Oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. You got the Baltimore Ravens interested in you. You got the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, there's just a lot of teams 12 teams. I mean, they're checking on you. Maybe there's other teams that you're not aware of. Maybe they're just trying to keep it low key with you. So we'll see. But hey, wouldn't it just be nice to just play in Baltimore? What would it just mean for you just to play for the Ravens?
Man, I mean, like playing for the Ravens will honestly be a dream of mine, you know, being back in the city, you know, then I could really start that foundation that I want to, you know, playing pro ball in general, you know, giving back to the city, starting those nonprofit programs here, and also doing different training programs as well, because I'm also a personal trainer as well. So I want to also give back to the youth, you know, and really build those Baltimore athletes right out here, because I would say the city of Baltimore is definitely slept on as far as athletes, you know, because a lot of people will look at Baltimore athletes as gangsters and thugs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's some very good athletes out there, you know, that keep their head on straight, stay focused, and are very determined to get everything done they need to do. So it'll definitely be a dream of mine to play for the Baltimore Ravens, man. Shout out to John Harbaugh, man.
John Harbaugh, you can't go wrong with him. It's like, I mean, I guess like you said it right. You said it best. Like there's some athletes that come from Baltimore and they have something to prove, and sometimes getting out of the city of Baltimore is what makes them more humble to go out and ball out.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Ooh, Ravens or Commanders, left hand up.
Man. Yeah, Ravens or Commanders, man. Definitely Ravens, man.
So how does it feel to know you're a month and a half away from living out your dream? So when did you know that you were gonna go play in the NFL at some point?
I would say around probably my sophomore year, you know, kind of when I really started, you know, taking those pro football avenues really serious, you know, because after a while, you know, you're sitting there, you sit there and you watch these football players, these pro athletes, you know, and then you watch them on TV and you kind of see them. And you're like, man, I wish I was on TV, you know, one day, you know, playing the sport that I love, and it's a dream, you know, and then if bringing it to reality would be wonderful, you know, but definitely that, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Like, you know what I don't get is why are you slept on, man? Like, I just seen your name popped up here and there, and I'm like saying, man, I guess sometimes for those small school prospects, man, it's like, why do you feel that you're slept on in the NFL?
Definitely like definitely what you said there. Definitely being from a small school, and then being from West Virginia, you know. I mean, being my school down in West Virginia, stuff like that is definitely slept on, you know. I mean, because a bunch of things that I've heard before is that you know, the D2 schools, like they say that we don't play anybody, which is definitely not true. You know, one thing that West Virginia Wesleyan did while I was there, you know, every year that I was there, we played a D1 football team. You know, I mean, we might not have won the game, but, you know, I went out and showed that I could play with these guys, you know, and then I deserve this opportunity just like everybody else does, you know. And then coming out of high school, I was recruited by a bunch of D1 schools, you know, but just ended up falling short with that and going to a D2 school, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, opportunity is what you do with the cards that you play, you know.
Yeah. I don't know if this has got to do with UFC or something with boxing. I guess Gervonta Davis or Ryan Garcia.
Oh, definitely Gervonta Davis, man. He gonna knock. If you want to be honest, he gonna knock a lot of Ryan Garcia.
I mean, so what's the difference of going from Baltimore to the state of West Virginia? Like, what's the environment like?
I would say it's more peaceful. For one, and then the second thing is definitely that I really liked while I was down out in West Virginia was definitely the nature aspect. Because me being from the city of Baltimore, you know, you hear a bunch of cop cars and seeing the city life, you know, versus, you know, finally tapping into that nature aspect of things, you know. And that definitely, you know, I would every now and then I would go on hikes while I was down there, which is surprising, but I was like, you know, let's see what it's like. You know, and I really enjoyed the view. The view was probably the most amazing thing I loved while I was down there. You know, seeing the mountains, the trees, and especially in the fall time when those trees are changing colors, and seeing the beautiful flowers, definitely it opens you up a little bit. You know,
like just from watching certain videos of it, they give you some reviews of how much of the cost of living is. It's not that expensive. The nature's nice, and there's a lot of these friendly people, you know, there's a lot there. I mean, it's not quite like your typical type of state. If you like the outdoors, that's the state you want to go to and all that stuff. So it seems kind of adventurous to go out there. But I mean, but when you look at it, man, so if you could hang out with any football player, with any football past or present for a day, and who and why?
I would say I would love to be with Ray Lewis. You know, because one thing is definitely his energy. Being around a guy like that, not only on the football field, I think like if you would just have a simple conversation with him, you might walk away with that conversation feeling like wonderful, like you could just run through a brick wall or something, just based off his motivation, his energy. I just love it. I think he'll definitely give me some good words of advice too as well.
I think Ray Lewis by far that's a great selection right there because you can learn from something. You can learn how to be a leader like him, and he can give you some better tips of how to elevate yourself in this NFL level because he's been there and done it, and he can give you some better advice than most athletes, because he's been in the game for so long, but he brought that presence on the football field. So that's what you like about Ray Lewis. He's a motivator. He seems like a coach, but I'm surprised he's not even coaching.
I mean, yeah, I'm surprised myself too. It's definitely because I could see him on any team. Honestly, even probably as a head coach.
I mean, he has the intensity to motivate these guys. So it's like if Dion can be a head coach, why not him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, if you had an entire day off, what do you like to do to unwind?
I say I like to do when I have the entire day off, man. I usually like to just sit down, relax, especially get some sleep. Probably take some naps, stretch. Definitely get some good fluid, get a lot of fluids in me as far as water. Drink a lot of water, hydrate, and just cool it, man. Probably watch some TV. If not, I'm probably just probably scrolling through the internet trying to find different ways, outside of football, that I can elevate my life as well.
Oh, for sure. So for anybody who ever comes to visit Baltimore, what's the tour like? Since you're a Baltimore native and resident here, is it known for seafood, and what kind of stuff do you like to eat around there?
Yeah, especially Baltimore is honestly the home of seafood. Let me be honest. Nobody in the country or probably freaking the world could probably touch Baltimore seafood, in my opinion. And then the type of seafood I like crab cakes and shrimp, for sure. And then probably my hot spot I would probably say would be by the docks. It's out in Essex, Maryland. It's definitely probably the best crab cake spot and also a very good brunch spot. It's very slept on. I don't know if a lot of people like seafood for brunch, but definitely a good thing to try.
Oh, I mean, definitely, but I mean, there's got to be other food besides seafood, but I guess that's what it's known for because you got the crab cakes, you got different kind of seafood. I mean, I guess when you look at it, there's other states besides the state of Maryland, but I guess Baltimore is known for that, just like how San Francisco has their their seafood type of thing. So it's like Fisherman's Wharf, get a little bit of everything like that, yes. And I guess some people like the seafood in some ways. I don't know what's good about the seafood, but I know for some people it has to taste good for everybody else. But crab cakes, man, that's kind of something I never heard of until I seen it. Like when they say, "Oh, when you go to Baltimore, they got the best crab cakes." I'm like, "What? What is that?"
It's undeniable, man. Definitely give it a try.
So, what's like the best like barbecue stuff they have in Maryland? Like
You said the best what?
Barbecue stuff and all the other food, like the other soul food and stuff.
I would say, definitely a bunch of good soul food spots for sure. As far as like, and a bunch of different culture spots. There's some good Indian spots I've had before. Different, a couple good Japanese spots. But definitely, I would say soul food would probably be, probably the main one.
So, for anybody else who comes to visit Baltimore, what's the best spot to go to and why?
Let me see. Probably the best food spot on that. That's so many, bro.
It's a big city. They call it the Charm City.
If I could give you one, at least for the year 2023, I'd probably say Cafe 1908. Definitely had this really good salmon and pasta. That was real good. I like a salmon Alfredo. Definitely probably the best I ever had, in my opinion.
So, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, I would say, it has to be mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, man. You can't go wrong with that. And then,
yeah, because in my opinion, you can even add what you want to it, and then if you just want it plain, can't go wrong with the cheese.
No, like usually when I have my mac and cheese, sometimes I'll add some stuff into it. I'll even add bacon to it, like add bacon to it or sausage or something like that because it has a good taste to it. Like usually the place called Panera or something, they have like the mac and cheese with the bacon on it, but it has a good taste to it. But it's just that cheese that has that weird taste. But I don't know, it just tastes good.
Oh no, Panera Bread definitely got some top mac and cheese in my opinion, especially the little bread bowls. I don't know if you had that, but definitely top tier.
You ever had the Cheetos mac and cheese one?
Definitely had that like a little while back, man. It definitely was tough.
So what kind of drink do you like, man? Just like any drink in general.
Um, I really don't really like even like outside of a bunch of beverages. I usually drink water, and coconut water is probably my main two.
Oh, coconut water. Not
Yeah,
bad.
coconut water. I was actually put on to coconut water when I was down in Florida training. Definitely, I don't like it has like a distinct taste. But once you get used to it, you'll be like, yeah, this is top tier and definitely good for hydration and collecting, getting back your electrolytes and different things like that as well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, coconut water, yeah, they have some good taste to it, especially the ones with the pulps on it and all that stuff. It just has some, I don't know, the taste just tastes really good. That's
Yeah.
what I meant, like a drink in general, like a sports drink or soda. It doesn't have to be alcohol and all that stuff. I mean, like, that's what, like, okay, what type of energy you bring on the football field? That's what we want to know.
Type of energy, man, I would say like the energy I bring is unmatched. Definitely when I'm on a football field, I'm locked in. It's like a different type of laser focus. Definitely being a sniper on the field and just, and then honestly, my teammates will tell you right now, man, I might not be the most talkative guy, but when I hit the field, man, it's a different type of feel. And it's not really, I can't really truly explain it. You just had to be there to really truly see it.
So you're not much of the talker. You just let your play do the talking, right?
Absolutely, man. I stay locked in. I just let my play do the talking, man. And honestly, being in the corner, it's surprising. Most corners like to talk trash, but man, at the end of the day, I just like to line up, play, do my thing.
I mean, most of them do. Yeah, they like to get under the receiver's head mentally a little bit, and I guess let your play do the talking and let it back it up itself. Because sometimes those type of players who talk too much and get under, like, think they're all that, but then they get beat. All that talking for nothing. But if you let your play do the talking, there's that respect on the field.
Absolutely, and that's how you earn it. Simple as that.
So how does it just feel that you're just really getting close to the NFL draft? And is there just a nervous moment or something that you're just excited for?
Um, I would say I'm excited just for this whole process. Just being able to have the opportunity to like just getting called by NFL teams and just talking to NFL scouts and just talking to a bunch of different organizations, and it's just truly exciting. Just I'm just blessed to have this opportunity. That's all I can truly say, man. Just
Yeah.
blessed.
Yeah, having 6 years of playing college ball, and then you finish your degree at that West Virginia Wesley University. You go to Concord for that one season, so it has to be that time where you're just saying, you know what, it's time for me to get into the NFL and reach that dream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what do you think are the keys to success on the football field?
Keys to success on the football field. I would say just for one, being focused. Two, locking in with your teammates and making sure the communication is there. Definitely can't go wrong with some communication because at the end of the day, it's 11 people it's 22 people on the field. But at the end of the day, with your teammates, definitely just gotta make sure that communication is there, and then just being able to just bring the toughness. Because at the end of the day, football is a physical sport. You gotta do what you gotta do.
Oh, absolutely. So, let's say you come into the field and you face the likes of a Debo Samuel. So you see a guy running full speed at you. What are your thoughts, and how do you process the strategy to tackle a guy like that?
With the guys with the caliber of Debo Samuels, man. At the end of the day, he's a football player just like everybody else. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna just do my technique that I gotta do, and then get him to the ground. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's just the challenging part, like the yak guy. So it's like,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's the interesting part. You just have to find the perfect spot to hit him, and
Yeah.
just a matter of time. But when you look back at it, man, like playing at this level, you reach like most of what other kids have been wanting to reach for. But what's the best advice for these kids who grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and why they should have hope into maybe playing their dreams in the professional sports?
I would say, definitely just stay focused. First, do your thing in the classroom. That's where it starts at the end of the day, because at the end of the day, if your grades are bad, you ain't playing on the football field, so you gotta make sure you stay focused and humble and do your thing in the classroom. The second, when you're on the football field, man, take every single snap, every single moment, every single second that you're out there, take it like as it's game day, versus it's practice or game day. Just take every snap like it's your last. Just go all in and just put it all in there, put all the marbles in the bucket, and just get it going. Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those other athletes that take a chance to go to this university, like you went to Virginia Wesley and you put Concord University, why do you think they should go to those schools?
I would say West Virginia Wesleyan. I would say you guys should consider going to West Virginia Wesleyan because, for one, the head coach over there, Dwayne Martin, man, before he became the head coach over there, he was my cornerbacks coach. Definitely one of the most energetic guys on this planet. He would definitely get you right. He's the reason I'm so physical now, because he actually played at West Virginia Wesleyan and ended up having a good career over there. But his main thing there was just being physical. He kind of just molded me to the player I am today. So him, for one, is definitely a good reason for going there. And also the program is rebuilding, so it's definitely a lot of opportunity over there as well. And as far as Concord University, man, definitely a good field. Some good coaches over there as well, but I mean, education is very good over there as well, being a public school, but it's definitely a very good education level as well.
Okay, that's kind of selling me into it. I mean, good education, better environment. I mean, what's there to complain about? The outdoors. I mean, there's a lot to do. So, there's a good question. You like your mascot Concord Mountain Lions or West Virginia Wesley College Bobcats? This guy's got some funny questions. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, man, you say you got a growl for us, man. Rawr. That's all I got for you, big dog. That's all I got for you, big dog.
Oh man, that's just funny as hell. Okay, how do you get rid of any nervous feel that you might like your first snap jitters?
How do I get rid of it? I would say honestly, like before every snap, I like to just take a deep breath, and just really just hone in, because it's like, because I don't know if a lot of people know in the weight room, like I don't know if you ever done a heavy squat, but when you're doing a heavy squat, when you go down and as you're coming back up, I usually can't hear anything, and it kind of blanks out everything because all your focus is on getting all that weight up, just like being on the football field, I take that deep breath. Once I take that deep breath, all I hear is, whether the quarterback is saying go and then what my teammates are saying, I'm cutting out everything, after I just take that little simple deep breath, just simply a little meditation real quick.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I guess you got to overcome those jitters a little bit. So it's like sometimes there's some nervous part and you're just having your opportunity and some people just don't want to blow it. But if you just don't think about it, don't worry about it, let it deal itself,
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at times I can be an overthinker. I mean, definitely being at the cornerback position at times, we definitely overthink a lot of things. But at the end of the day, you just gotta simply just tell yourself, I got it. And you continue to tell yourself that, and then you believe it, have faith in yourself, everything else will handle itself. Simple as that.
Yeah. As far as that, man, it's just, it's the process, man. When you get into the league, doesn't matter where you get drafted, doesn't matter what happens, as long as you get in the door and just take the most out of it. Even if it's little snaps here and there, they take those snaps very serious, man.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, man, it's going to be an exciting process, man. The journey is going to be worth it because you put all that 6 years in college, and now it's time for it to translate at the next level.
Yes, sir. I would say, I mean, it's definitely gonna be exciting. Definitely having that opportunity. Because all I really need is that, just put my foot in the door. Because at the end of the day, I'm that one guy, that makes sure, like I said, takes advantage of every single opportunity he's given. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's like you gotta take advantage of it. So, what's the best okay, like if we were to go outside of football, what kind of movie do you like, man? What's like your favorite movie of all time?
A favorite movie of all time, probably a lot of people probably look at me like I'm crazy, but it's definitely Forrest Gump. I definitely one of my most favorite movie on this planet, man. I probably know every single line of it, and every time I watch it, I kind of have the same reaction every time, and I'm usually just busting out laughing every single time.
Interesting. So Forrest Gump, that's an old movie before our time. So like, I like the Mask, if I'm being honest. Like just the Jim
Okay.
Carrey character or him playing the Riddler and all kinds of stuff. Anything with Jim Carrey, I just enjoy, except maybe one or two movies I didn't enjoy as much. But here's a good question. Could Mike Sawyer play free safety or strong safety or slot corner?
Honestly, yes. I really look at myself as a DB. I wouldn't just call myself a corner. You know what I mean? At times, you know, when people ask like what position you play, of course I'm gonna say corner because I love playing corner at the end of the day. But if it comes to, you know, when I talk to them scouts and stuff, you know, I'm letting them know like I'm a DB. You know, if you want me to play free safety, I can play free safety. And actually, the crazy thing is, at West Virginia Wesleyan, a couple practices and honestly, a couple games actually, I actually went to the free safety position. And because my coach is like, you know, he got the height for, you know, he can run sideline to sideline. I'm definitely a good cover, like as far as zone coverage and things like that. I play a lot of good zone coverage as well, you know. So I could definitely play any position in the back end. So
Yeah, versatility matters. But so since my team values versatility, I guess Cardcast wanted to throw that out there. I mean, but it doesn't matter where you go to. But let's say hypothetically, let's say John Lynch makes a phone call and calls you in for a trial or gets you on the field. Would you want to take that opportunity to come into Santa Clara towards Levi and don in that red and gold or not?
I mean, opportunity is opportunity. You know, honestly, I'm willing to go to any team that offers me, man. Because at the end of the day, whatever team I'm at is going to be my favorite team. You know, and then I'm gonna make sure I handle my business while I'm there.
I like that answer, man. It don't matter what team you go to. And even though Super Bowl 47 is a memory once upon a time ago, man, I'll put that behind me, man. That's the ghost of the past. But I look at great football players. I look at great human beings, man. So outside of football, it seems to me you are a more chill type of guy. You let your play do the talking. You got the versatility. Play at a small college. I mean, I guess there's a lot to prove out there, but once you get into the NFL level, it doesn't matter what round you get to. It doesn't matter if you're undrafted. As long as you get the opportunity, man, that's all they can ask for.
Absolutely.
Oh, Mike Sawyer is a tackling machine. I guess RB they so go close they are getting. I guess you can tackle. I guess you got the length and the physicality, huh?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something I pride myself on as well. As well as covering, you know, you definitely want to be a great cover corner and definitely cover DB. You know, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to come down and tackle every now and then. You know, sometimes you might have to face some pulling guards. Sometimes you might have to face some tight ends, some running backs. You know, that are bigger than you. You know, but you just gotta do what you gotta do.
Absolutely, man. But for everybody else, man, I thank you guys for tuning in, man. But huge shout out to Mike Sawyer Jr. at the University of Concord, man. Anybody wants to go check this guy out, man? He's a sleeper. He's an NFL draft prospect. You definitely need to check out his film. I mean, he doesn't get much recognition, but he needs to be. You know, a lot of these draft sleepers, man, playing at a small college, and he just gives you a good explanation. They played some solid competition.
Yes, sir. And I definitely thank everybody for tuning in, man. At the end of the day, let's go get this money, man. Let's feed the family.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna give you like maybe some final saying. You can say what you want to say, and wish you the best luck. Definitely gonna root for you, man.
And I appreciate it, man. But I would like to say definitely to all them teams out there and everybody watching as well, you know, just thank you guys. At the end of the day, this opportunity, I'm really looking forward to this opportunity, and I just, you know, I'm blessed. You know, God, at the end of the day, God has put me here on this earth, man. I'm just trying to live by His love, and then just continue just to do His will as well. You know, let's get to it.
Oh, absolutely, man. And as always, for everybody else, thanks for tuning in, and best of luck to Michael Sawyers Jr., man. It's gonna be a great journey, man. It's gonna be something. It's the underdog we all got to root for, man. So everybody else, we got to root for this guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. For everybody else, thanks for tuning in, and peace.